2019 Mazda 3 car review. Yes, after that be obvious to Czech drivers and owners alike would be the quality materials plus the clean and simplified home design. Large analog gauges flank an electronic digital speedometer that itself mimics an analog gauge. Mazda has wisely killed the previous 3's lame gun side display that folded outside the top in the instrument binnacle and showed your speed in a tiny font, replacing it which has a real head-up display that projects a sizable, legible image on the windshield. The VAC controls appear to have been borrowed from Audi, and also the steering wheel appears to be if it should wear BMW part number. A new 8.8-inch screen is standard on every model and sits atop the dashboard, canted toward the driving force, just unrealistic. It's no longer a touchscreen and is particularly controlled entirely through the large commander knob inside console. To the right of these dials sits the actual control. Pushing it on the left or the right will choose the previous or next song or station, an intelligent solution cribbed from Audi. The infotainment system's menu structure is logical, its responses are quick, and every individual function gets to be a graphic that unlocks the mystery of the items. Things like adjusting the Bose center point indicates to your life. The display patiently explains that it must be how you adjust the multi-channel audio. While the Bose 12-speaker method is a tempting option, the stock audio's 8-speaker setup is remarkably clear and powerful. Both systems lack door-mounted mid-range speakers. Instead, those speakers manage to get their own enclosures which might be tucked prior to the doors underneath the instrument panel, just under the base in the A-pillars. Relocating those speakers makes certain that the doors won't rattle and reply to high volume. Also, it removes a dent from each home panel, reducing noise intrusion. Conversely, it's remarkable how muted the stereo is away from car. Yet another clever detail from the 3's quiver. While I was sold about the merits from the audio system, we didn't fully adopt Mazda's newfound obsession with the pelvis. Let us explain. Engineers accompanying our drive attempted to convince us the new seat locates the pelvis in a fashion that eases the effort required from the upper body to master movement reacting to bumps and corners. We thought the additional 0.8-inch put into the leader's telescopic range had substantially more affect our comfort, that as well as the chassis tuning. Mazda replaced the 3's multi-link rear suspension that has a simpler torsion beam setup. Fortunately, it doesn't lead on the collapse of civilization. Bending the automobile into a few hard corners reveals tight body control. Sedan and hatchback both receive the same tune, so though we drove exactly the former, we predict how the shorter hatch will handle similarly. A 16-inch wheel is standard, and our sedan came on optional 18 inches. Both wheel sizes wear all-season rubber. As you might expect, it has a 215/45 R18 tire. The ride is firm, nevertheless the suspension rapidly and calmly attenuates impacts. Mazda's engineers specified softer tire sidewalls to absorb the first rearward deflection imparted by bumps, allowing the suspension to spotlight absorbing up-down movements. Steering turning is a bit more sluggish. Personal computer was within the previous generation 3. Chassis engineers explained that whenever given a fast rack along with a reactive nose, many drivers turn out putting in an excessive amount steering, requiring a mid-corner correction. Mazda dialed back initial response, hence the new 3 will have a more natural steering progression through turns. Eventually, we adjusted on the steering inputs and reaction speed, but would definitely like more feedback from the wheel. Apparently using a leader that looks as if it came from a modern BMW yields contemporary quantities of feedback, which is to say little. Mazda can provide a 6-speed manual around the hatchback, but all three sedans obtain a very smart 6-speed automatic that holds gears in and before corners and delighted us even when your vehicle wasn't in sport mode. Sitting next on the transmission is often a carry-over 2.5-liter inline 4 making 186 horsepower at 6,000 revolutions per minute and 186 pound-feet of torque at 4,000 revolutions per minute. We're told the SkyActiv-X engine, a 2.0-liter inline 4 promising greater efficiency as a result of spark-initiated compression ignition, definitely won't be available until later in 2010. The 2.5-liter will more than likely return about 30 miles per gallon combined, as being the outgoing car does. Nonetheless, it lacks building a low-end pull of the turbocharged rivals from Chevy, Honda, Hyundai, Kia, and Volkswagen. Power builds steadily for the 6,500 revolutions per minute redline, though the 3's acceleration won't flatten you into the seats. At least the 4's labors remain far off stage. Road and wind noise are largely hushed, although we would like to drive the Mazda Continuo with its competition to determine whether or not this a class leader inside decibel department. In addition to your 3's wheelbase doesn't cause a larger cabin, but rear seat room is a good example for a 6-footer by sitting behind another 6-footer without touching the seat before. Uber riders will appreciate the area, and Uber drivers will appreciate the high S. Most everyone will appreciate this new bodywork. It's purposely designed without sharp cut lines along the sides, each panel flowing into your next. While we like the hatch's more aggressive design and tidier 175.6-inch length, the longer sedan does its best to have the proportions right. Small sedans will be the hot dog fingers in the car world, stubby, inelegant, and uglier the greater you look. To combat everything that, Mazda gave the 3-box a small and relatively long nose and also a plunging roofline that bleeds to the trunk. Sedans open at $21,920, and Mazda is asking $24,520 with the base hatch. All-wheel drive will add $1,400 on the sticker. Not only could there be no discount for that manual gearbox, but Mazda thinks that opting for your manual means then of course you'll want the top-of-the-line premium trim level, so start searching the couch cushions for $28,420 if you prefer a third pedal. If that seems high, maybe it's simply because you are aware that a VW Golf GTI starts at $28,940. While the Mazda provides more equipment at that price, we'd go for the power and also the sportiness with the GTI. But, spec'd more frugally, the 3 is often a refined, class-claiming standout, set with PH dual-level thinking, even should you might not notice it to start with.